This DIY Trailer Tech video is sponsored by Coast Distribution. Coast supplies nearly 14,000 different RV, marine, outdoor, and power equipment products to customers throughout the United States and Canada. With an extensive network of distribution centers, Coast ships the same day they receive an order with overnight or second-day deliveries to nearly all major markets.
Hey guys, we're always looking for ways to improve our trailer setup, and one of the things we want to tackle today is this whole setup where we've got the jack tube sitting on a block of wood. We've got this on a couple of our trailers right now, and there's a number of things that it causes issues with. It does solve some problems. What the block of wood does is it disperses the weight so it's not concentrated in the tube driving it into the ground, especially when you're on dirt or on gravel. And it does give us a little extra reach to get the trailer level, like in this situation in this driveway. But it can cause some problems. The block of wood can break down. I've seen them split a number of times. Obviously it's not stable because they're not actually attached, and it's you have to mess around with the block of wood. Sometimes it gets left behind and you don't have it in your truck. It just ends up being kind of a problem. Now we think we found the solution with the Brute Super Foot by Husky Towing Products. As you can see, it handles the whole situation that the blocks are trying to do by extending the reach of the tube. And then it has a broad base on it, so it disperses the weight and keeps the tube from driving into the ground. But it also has the big advantage of the foot being attached to it all the time. And one of the really cool things is once it's attached to the tube of the trailer, it folds up. So you unlock this mechanism and the whole thing folds up for transport. And then when you reach your destination, you simply drop it down and instantly you've got this much more reach with your tube, and it eliminates a lot of cranking. We think that the installation of the Superfoot should be pretty straightforward, so let's see how it goes.
To install the Superfoot, we wanted the hitch up in the air, and we figured the safest and easiest way to do that was to hitch the trailer to my truck. With a jack tube up in the air, we positioned the resizing sleeve and the Superfoot and lined them up. With the Superfoot in position, we used a Sharpie to mark the bottom hole for the fastening bolt. Next, we removed the Superfoot and used a spring-style center punch to mark the pilot hole in the jack tube. We used a 3/16" twist drill to make the pilot hole in the jack tube, and then followed that with a bit that was large enough to provide clearance for the bolt. With the bolt hole now drilled in the jack tube, we put the Superfoot back into position, lined up the holes, inserted the bolt, and torqued on the nylon insert locking nut. Well, what if you find yourself in a situation where the extra length of the Superfoot is not needed? No problem. The Superfoot was designed to operate in the folded position, which can be very helpful in camping spots where the ground slopes away to the rear of the trailer. You can lift the trailer tongue without damaging the Superfoot, and it still provides surface area to keep the jack tube from sinking into the ground. If you need to shorten the extension tube on the Superfoot for everyday use, you'll want to check out how we did it on this trailer. We took the extension tube off of the Superfoot, flipped the attached part into the down position, held the foot plate and extension tube up to the upper mechanism of the Superfoot, and marked where the tube needed to be cut. We used a reciprocating saw with a metal cutting blade to cut the tube. We used a straight edge along the tangent of the tube so the holes would line up. Then we used the section of the tube we cut off to measure the distance from the end to mark the new hole. We drilled a new hole for the bolt that attaches the extension tube to the upper part of the Superfoot. After cutting off the extension tube and test fitting it to make sure it fits for the elevation of the trailer tongue in this driveway and on this hitch ball, we took it apart to paint the freshly cut tube to prevent it from rusting. We didn't want to paint over the nice powder coat surface of the Superfoot, so we masked off all but the top part that would be buried inside the upper portion of the jack extension. Now with the Superfoot back in place, we have a solid platform for the trailer that added reach to the jack tube, improved stability, and made it faster and easier when hitching and leveling.